Am I the butthole for firing my brother as my dog walker after having to pay a lot for the vet because of his lie? My brother, 24 male, has been out of work for a while and has been looking to make any extra cash. I, 27 meters, decided to start paying him to walk my dog in the mornings and evening. Not much, but just so he has something. Didn't need him to because I was already doing that myself. But still been busy with work, so at least him doing it meant I wouldn't have to get up super early to walk Bella, my dog, or take her out really late once I'm done for the day. I didn't notice this until a couple weeks after he started walking Bella. She has her own pee pad in my apartment where she does her business. Sometimes she'll poop during our walks and I clean up after her. When my brother started walking her, I gave him the bags to use in case she went. A few days went by and I noticed Bella hasn't used her pee pad to go number 2 at all. So I asked my brother if she's going during their walks. He told me she wasn't. I noticed it too when they get back and he hasn't used the bags. I asked him a few times if he's sure and he said yeah. So that scared me because obviously there was a problem if she hasn't pooped in days. I took her to the vet. They did a physical, blood work to check if she was dehydrated or anything else. Literally, nothing was wrong. So then, the vet suggested we do an abdominal ultrasound to see if they could figure out what's going on. That crap wasn't cheap at all. So still haven't gotten the results yet, and earlier I'm at home, my brother stops by to take her out. Notices how I'm acting, so he asks what's wrong. I told him everything. That I'm freaked out over what's wrong with Bella because they've done these tests and they don't know what's up. Finally he effing tells me he's been lying about the whole thing. Bella does go, but he just didn't want to pick up the poop. He didn't tell me because he knew I'd get mad since they only walk around this block, which means he's been letting her go on the neighbors' yards and not picking it up. Man, I literally lost it. Like, actually yelled at him for making me worry about my dog and that I spent so much money for nothing. I essentially fired him, didn't say nothing about him paying me back because knowing him, I knew he won't. My brother begged me to give him a chance and he didn't know it was going to be a big deal. He texted me multiple times that he's sorry. And he really needs this help. Since he's staying at my parents', of course, he told them so now they're on his side too. To be a good brother and give him a chance for making a stupid mistake. My brother's mad I won't help him. I'm still mad about the whole thing, so I don't know if I'm being too harsh because of my emotions or if I'm in the right here. Of course not the butthole. He 1. Lied. That's already butthole behavior. Lie to someone helping you out. 2. Didn't pick up the dog's poop. Such a butthole move. 3. Caused you to pay all that money and worry. No offer to make it up or whatsoever. 4. Most likely lied to your parents or at least changed the story to his favor. Otherwise, I doubt they would side with him. 5. His only worry now is the money he wants to make. Seriously, F him. Don't give him the job back, he shouldn't be trusted with the dog. Besides, it was nice of you to give it to him in the first place, there is no obligation. Don't let them guilt you. Imagine this was a random employee. You would not consider hiring them. Don't do it because he's family or struggling. And he was only walking her around 1 block. He was lousy dog walker on top of everything else. Original poster, not the butthole. Plus neighbors probably know the dog. I know I learned dogs before people laughing out loud, and might hold it against original poster because brother left poo in their yard. In my opinion, the brother owes it to original poster and the neighbors to go around and pick up the entire dog turd in sight. I don't care if he can DNA trace the turd back to the dog or not, it's his crap to pick up. Could you imagine a turd index database? Hold on 1 second, I have to check this turd against the TEED. Should be turd user reference database. I've toured apartment complexes that take a DNA sample of your dog and then compare dog poop that's not picked up so they can find the appropriate owner. So they actually have a TEED, laughing out loud. I don't know if it actually happened or that was just their deterrent to prevent it, since we didn't move there. OMG, this is ingenious. This is the rare kind of big brother surveillance I can get behind. I completely agree. But then I had a thought about what it says about our society that a dog poop index exists but millions of rape kits go untested. I know it, well-funded private business versus underfunded government, but damn, our priorities are crazy. That's extremely depressing when you frame it that way. My old apartment did this. after numerous failed attempts and ideas to get people to clean up after their dogs. And let me tell you, this works. I hate when people do not clean up after their dogs. There is absolutely no reason not to. Forget bags? Sucks. Walk back and get some. Goes deep in a snow pile? Start digging. Dog likes to poop in bushes like a big derp. Looking at you Ollie, turn your flashlight on and hope it's not a prickly bush. I mean, that's happened to me a few times. Dog needs to go at some ungodly hour. I grab the leash but don't check the poop bag holder, or because my dog is a kind of a dick, he'll poop once and then like 2 minutes later on our walk he'll crap again. I think he did that 4 times. One time it was a long walk. Can't count how many times I've legit had to go back to my house because my dog is super picky about where he does his business. I know someone who had a dog he called Teddy Tentards, because every time they went out, Teddy was pooing left and right. OMG, the snow thing. I have neighbors that let their dogs crap in my yard all summer long. Always fun to hit it with lawn mower and then step in it, but every spring when the snow melts, it's 100 times worse. It's like no one on my street thinks they need to bother with it because the dog went in the snow. My front yard along the sidewalk was littered with old dog turds when the snow melted. It was so disgusting. Oh, that's so gross. I know exactly what you are talking about. Someone posted a video on public freakout of this guy catching his neighbor on his ring in the act of not picking up the dog crap and starting blowing horn and screaming at her with a mega speaker. I laughed so hard watching this video. And the woman had poop bags with her and just chose not to clean it up. My friend lives in a condo and their HOA does this, can confirm it's a real thing. I lived in a complex that did the same thing and it was glorious. Nothing like telling people their dog's poop could cost them hundreds to ensure they don't be lazy and pick it up. They would be fined for the cost of running the DNA test and the fine for not picking it up. Would have been a costly poo. Cleanest complex I ever lived in. After I had a surgery, my boys had to walk our dogs. When we found out they hadn't been picking up the poop, I did that. I made them pick up every piece of poop on the street whether it was our dogs or not. And apologized to our neighbors. I was livid with them. DNA trace the turd back to the dog is what genuinely made my day today. Ha ha. My HOA fines $100 for the first offense if you're caught not scooping up after the dog. They have cameras in the common areas, and if a neighbor snaps a photo of you or the dog, it's expensive. I'd absolutely fire a dog walker for not scooping. I could be hit with hundreds in fines. Original poster still can get fined. He should also tell the parents that the brother actually owes him for vet bills, so if he ever allowed him to walk the dog again it should be for free until the money he would have been given covers the vet bill. I will never understand why he offered to walk the dog in the first place if it was such a problem to take care of a dog poo. If he babysat, would he refuse to change diapers, too? Well, I mean, we can't say that without knowing. A. How big the block is. X. My parents' block is 5 kilometers, but my block is 4 kilometers. That's a massive difference. B. How big the dog is. If it's a big dog then yeah, even my block might not be enough, laughing out loud. It's not for my big girl. If it's like a Chihuahua or a Yorkie then a block the size of my parents would be just fine since it's getting multiple walks a day. ETA, he is a lousy dog walker for not picking up the poop and lying about it obviously, but I can't judge about the walk length just yet, laughing out loud. He said only the block, which makes it sound like it's not a very long distance. It also pees on pee pads, so I'm assuming it's no Mastiff. No wonder he doesn't have a job with his work ethic. Once around the block and no poop scooping? I take the dog further just for the exercise. And I had a dog that tried to run away from poop every time and still picked it up. He didn't just lie. He lied about the dog's health so he didn't have to do 30 seconds of extra work. Any dog walker should be fired if it turns out they're not picking up the poop, because it means that they are incompetent at their job. End of discussion. The fact that he lied just makes it worse. Yup. Mistakes are normal. Willfully choosing to do wrong, and know it's wrong and then lie to cover the wrongness, is negligence. That gets you fired in any job. Except for president. Number 4, they probably want him to save up and move out. Probably doesn't clean up after himself at their place either. Caused unnecessary stress and possible trauma to his dog Bella, having to go to the vets and do unnecessary and invasive tests. That crap can be real scary to some animals. Absolutely. Going to the vet is a freaking chore. Time off from work, stressed out dog, adhering to if the dog can or cannot eat before the appointment, and every time I have to vacuum out the car from the dog hair, my lab leaves everywhere. The brother doesn't really care about the dog. The brother doesn't really care about original poster. Not the butthole. Exactly that. Original poster needs to tell their parents they don't have the money to pay bro anymore because there was a huge and unexpected vet expense due to him being a filthy liar. Couldn't have said this better myself. Original poster, your brother can get effed. This situation could have turned out so much worse and your brother doesn't give a crap. Turn around and never look back. Not the butthole. Yes, he also probably just told the parents his brother fired him for not picking up the poop and didn't say a word about the vet and dollar and panic he caused. Hope original poster has filled them in on this so they maybe don't run to support bro so quickly. If original poster already did, then they are too. Original poster should be reimbursed for his vet fees out of the dollar he paid his brother plus however many more hundreds of dollars. That's no joke. I have had dogs and among them 3 were Saint Bernards. The bigger the dog, the more it costs. Not to mention, since people more likely the dog versus walker, if any of the neighbors make a formal complaint, at least in the US, the neighbor probably is going to point the finger at original poster as not picking up after the dog. Getting original poster saddled with a fine on top of a bad relationship with the neighbor. Edit to add not the butthole. And 6. He totally did know it was going to be a big deal, or he wouldn't have lied about it. So that's another lie right there. Maybe you could give him another chance if he makes and signs a plan to reimburse you for the vet and to clean up your neighborhood. Seems like it'd make him money faster just getting another job instead, but hey. Note, oops. I meant to post this add-on comment under my original reply of not the butthole. Also, how is brother that old and not realize that picking up the poop goes with walking to dog? I mean really. None of us enjoys it, but it beats stepping in poop all the time, leaving it for other people in their yards and having angry neighbors. And it's the right thing to do. Unless you are in the woods or on your own property if you don't care to. I mean, my brother is not a dog person and he in the past has walked my dogs. Again, Saint Bernard so big poop. When was visiting once he said he'd walk them and I happened to peek out the window and witnessed him trying to hold the dog poop bag open and catch the poop under my dog as she went. I just lost it. Laughter, not anger? But at least the effort was there. And we laughed about it later. He said he just didn't know how. We didn't grow up with dogs and I guess had not scrutinized people picking up their dog's poop. Still, part of me wonders how he couldn't know this, laughing out loud. He would have had a real mess on his hands if I hadn't run out to stop him in between laughing. But didn't original poster's brother at 24 years old think about the neighbors, and wasn't he embarrassed about what they might think of him for not picking up, and also how it would not look good for his brother as he, lives there and I'm sure the neighbors know him and his dog on site. You get to know everyone on site when you walk your dogs regularly and vice versa. I'd go with punishment that would shut everyone up. Let him do the walking again to pay off the bill first and say when that is paid he will get back to getting cash. But just fire his butt after it's paid off. The only thing a dog walker has to do is walk the dog, pick up the poo, tell the owner if there are any problems. Don't lose the dog. Not a hard job, and if he can't do that I wouldn't trust him with any job. You were only really doing this to help him out in the first place. He demonstrated he could not even handle a simple task. This is probably why he needed help in the first place. On the neighbor's yard as well. Not the butthole. He better pay you back. Original poster replies. I know my brother, he won't. Look on eBay for the roughest, most coarse sand you can find, put it in a scratchy burlap sack, and give it to him. Tell him he can see you and your dog again when that exact sand is as fine as dust. This sounds biblical. It's my way of telling someone to pound sand. I effing love it. I'm stealing this, laughing out loud. I don't consent to my words being stolen, I need them for my nefarious schemes. I told someone to pack sand at work the other day and all of my coworkers looked at me like I'd grown a second head. Pack sand where? Where the F do you think? Pack it like for lunch? Well, sand is rather bland and dry, but I'll pack some just in case. Extreme, but I kind of like it. Haha, not the butthole. Original poster's brother is a notorious liar, so he'd probably purchase an identical burlap sack and fill with it fine, pre-pounded sand. With what money? Borrowed from parents, of course. Haha, WTF. Are you a Shakespearean character? Love it, very symbolic. Ah, thank you. Really, I'm just a man with an odd brain. I thought you were going for when he's counted all the grains. He can count them after. As he won't be paying you back, just tell him you can't afford to pay him to walk her, as that money now has to go on the vet's bills he caused. Totally not the butthole for any of it. Your brother, on the other hand. Nailed it. Dog walking funds are now vet bill payments. Make it a condition then. If you want the job back, first thing you can do to make amends is pay the vet bills you caused. Can't afford it? That's a part of adulthood and taking responsibility. He should also apologize to the neighbors. Original poster's reputation in the neighborhood might be in tatters at the moment. He should also apologize to Bella for making her go through medical tests she didn't need. Imagine being needle jabbed and stool sample sodomized for no reason. Even if he does that, I would not trust him with my dog. That's your condition. You give him the job back and he does it for free until he pays you back the money you lost in vet bills. If he F's up again, your parents see what kind of person he is. Oh, and not the butthole. I'm all for firing him, but this gets your money back and or will expose him for the fraud he really is. You get your money back and he learns from his mistake, or he declines and your parents see he is a jerk. Either way, you come out looking better and possibly financial restituted. Okay, so tell him you will hire him back, but he has to work off the vet bill. Well, try to look at this as a very expensive lesson to never trust your brother with stuff again. Does he have your house key? Offer him the job back on the condition that his payment goes to the vet bills until they are paid in full, and then he can receive pay again. See how willing he is to try to make things right. Tell him he can have another chance, and once he has done enough walks that on what you paid him before, he has paid the vet bill back, he can get paid again. I have this suspicion he won't agree to this, as it will be a lot of unpaid work for him. Original poster replies, I wouldn't trust him to pick up after my dog during their walks, knowing now that he lies about it. My point is that he likely won't take the offer, but it will put the ball back in his court. Agreed. Offering him another chance, stated by poster above, is terrible advice. He simply cannot ever be trusted with your dog. You probably already know that it's a misdemeanor to not pick up the poop. Part of the malicious compliance request could be he has to pick up all the old poops. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.